All right, boys, we are back once again. Beyond the Rift with IAMJERM every single Monday on YouTube. This week we're actually starting an hour earlier. I don't know, sometimes I'm busy on Mondays, but I got a lot of stuff done. I'm chilling at home. I didn't want to just sit here and do nothing for an hour. So we're going live now. We're going to wait a couple of minutes, let people kind of file in. Hopefully we, actually get some viewers. That would be nice. But that's kind of the plan, especially since we're starting early. Not necessarily according to schedule, but we do have some cool topics to talk about today. I want to talk a little bit about TSM and the LCS playoffs. I want to talk a little bit about, obviously, the LEC. I want to talk about the West's chances at Worlds 2021 this year, how well we think some of the top teams can do. And then, obviously, running through the offseason a little bit, giving some offseason talk, because there's definitely still some big rumors, some big names going around. There is definitely still some stuff to talk about. So we'll be doing all of that. Before we get too far into this, I want to take a second to tweet out the link. I want to actually put out the link on my YouTube, whatever it's called, polls or whatever stuff real quick too. And then we'll kind of get started. But just getting everybody a couple minutes still to get in and everything. This is G2 United States, bro. I'm rocking NA today, but I'm also going to be recording the rebuilding G2 video later. So that's why I wanted to wear a G2 jersey today. Obviously, they're not going to Worlds. Obviously, we're rocking with the 6 Western teams that are actually headed to Worlds. But I don't have any Fnatic merch. So, hey, you want to slide some stuff my way? Maybe I can, pop it on in a video for you guys. But right now, repping NA, repping G2. There we go. So let me get this link for this live stream real quick. I want to tweet it out. Hopefully we can get some people in here. And then we will go from there. This is episode 4. So far, we've been on a good streak. Every episode of Beyond the Rift has actually gotten more viewers than the previous one. So I hope we'll be able to keep that up. Today we actually have kind of a tough task, because I think last week we peaked at 127 viewers. That's the most I've ever had for any live stream ever. Yeah, I don't know. So we got a big goal to set, so hopefully we can beat that, because that'd be awesome. It's super cool to keep growing and keep growing and keep growing and keep getting bigger and better. But obviously that can be tough. At some point you're going to plateau. At some point you're going to have like a number that is tough, and you're going to have to get through. But we'll see what we can do. I think it's cool to have goals. I think it's cool to go for bigger and better and everything. We are live. Beyond the Rift, episode 4. Come hang. All right, we got the tweet link put out. I want to put it out as a YouTube kind of poll or whatever real quick, and then we'll go from there. What's going on, guys? I appreciate you hopping in. We're about to get started in just a couple of minutes. Just giving everybody a couple minutes to hop in, because I actually went live an hour earlier than I usually do. What is up, my favorite bald esports fan? What's going on, man? Happy that you're here. Thanks for stopping by. If you guys have any questions, any topics you'd like us to talk about and everything, definitely pop those in the chat, and I'll try to get to them at some point during the episode today. What are we calling this? Podcast is live. Come hang. Poll. What are we going to say? We're going to say, oh, yeah. We're going to say, aye, aye, Captain. All right. So we got the poll out. We got the tweet out. We're getting ready to start here in just a couple of minutes. If you guys are interested in getting the VODs of this podcast, so you can watch them anytime throughout the week, because it's going to be a 30 to 45-minute episode, or just helping support me, my content, and my channel a little bit further, definitely go check out patreon.com/IAMJERM. That is where everything for the podcast is going to be, but it's also going to be live streamed every single Monday on YouTube. I think it's better if you tweet before the stream. I did tweet before the stream, but I also don't have I don't have a link for the stream until the stream actually goes live. Is there going to be a World's Teams tier list? Yes, there is. I'm actually waiting for every single team to qualify for Worlds, and then we'll do a power ranking. We'll do a tier list. We'll go through all that stuff. Let's talk about TSM disappointment. Yes, we are definitely going to talk about that. Adam, honestly, trying to get it. Okay, I think we're back. Hopefully the stream's back. I think it went out for a second. I think my internet's been super, super bad recently, so hopefully that doesn't happen anymore. Let me pull up the stream real quick, make sure it's still actually going, and then we can get started.
It's time to forget,
because that's not what we want, obviously. 1 second. I'm getting an ad. I'm getting an ad on my own stream. After I play this ad, I'm going to make sure the stream's still up, still running, because I think it disconnected for like a couple of seconds. So I don't even know how that'll impact the VOD. Hopefully not too bad. I'm getting double ad on my own stuff. I don't use ad blocks. I want to support people using ads and stuff. Pull up the stream real quick. Make sure it's still actually. All right, we're good. We're good. We're good. All right, let's go. So what is going on YouTube? What is going on Patreon? However you guys are watching this, this is Beyond the Rift episode 4 with IAMJERM, my weekly League of Legends esports podcast. Today we have some really awesome topics to talk about. We are going to be talking about the LCS playoffs and how TSM has really ran out of excuses. We're going to be talking about the LEC playoffs a little bit, what I think the West's chances at Worlds 2021 is, obviously always a very big topic, and then we'll be talking about the offseason a little bit. I think we have some really big offseason topics to talk about, including G2, what their plans are going to be, what some of their players are going to be doing. So I think this should be a good episode. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, anything you would like to talk about, topics, definitely throw those in the chat, and we'll see if we can get to them at some point in the episode. So here we go, getting right into this. I have some stuff pulled up here. First, usually we start talking about the LEC, so I want to start by talking about the LCS today. And what I want to talk about for the LCS is the fact that I think TSM has really ran out of excuses for a couple of reasons. Now, first up, TSM, had some excuses coming into the playoffs that they were the #1 overall seed, but they felt like they got the harder choice of the bracket. Obviously TSM, they had to match up against the winner of C9TL, and then they end up losing, and then they match up against the loser of C9TL, and a lot of people felt like Cloud9 and Team Liquid were maybe the two best teams in the LCS, that maybe they were on a collision course for the championship, and that one of these three teams, between Cloud9, Team Liquid, and TSM, were going to actually win the championship. And I am definitely in favor of the #1 overall seed having the easiest route to the championship or to Worlds or whatever, because I want the regular season to mean something. I want that #1 seed to actually mean something. I agree with some people that it is kind of whack if you get to pick who you're playing against. But again, when you have weird situations like the seasons that Cloud9 went through, the seasons that Team Liquid went through, I don't really see another way to do it besides letting them choose actually the team they play against, choose the side of the bracket they're on or whatever. And if that means there's going to be some rematches in the lower bracket, then I think we should move the lower bracket around rather than moving the upper bracket around. So, TSM did have some excuses coming in. They did, there was some people saying it, some of their analysts, some of their staff were definitely complaining. There was definitely some salty TSM fans. I made some videos about it. But that was before the playoffs. That was before we actually saw how everything played out. But now that we see 100 Thieves actually beat Cloud9, 100 Thieves actually beat Team Liquid, we know that TSM had a chance against the #3 seed from North America, which was Cloud9, and they lost to them. They lost 3-2. They lost in Game 5. They did not get it done. They did not qualify for the World Championships. And we know that TSM had a matchup against the second best team, the 2 seed coming out of North America, and they did not win that series either. They lost that series 3-1. So yes, in some world, TSM still has a case. They still have an argument that they should have been matched up against Evil Geniuses, that they should have been playing EG for a spot at Worlds. And, I think most people in that matchup would still favor TSM. Obviously, Evil Geniuses end up losing 3-0 to Cloud9, and TSM loses 3-2 to Cloud9. So there is a case to be made that TSM should be going to Worlds, but at the end of the day, I really think, even as a TSM fan, I think that the 3 best teams from North America are going to Worlds. And even though there's a case that TSM, again, should have beat EG, should have been playing at Worlds, I, at the end of the day, want our 3 best teams to be at the tournament. I want our 3 best teams to be competing because I actually want North America to maybe do good at Worlds for once. I want maybe a team to get out of groups. And I don't think this TSM team was that good anyway. I don't think they were going to go to Worlds and do anything. And I think that those excuses have kind of run out. Because again, they had a chance to prove themselves as a 3rd best team by beating Cloud9. They had a chance to prove themselves as the 2nd best team by beating Team Liquid. They didn't get matched up against the #1 and #2 seed. They got matched up against the 2nd and 3rd seed. They dodged 100 Thieves the whole way. 100 Thieves ends up 3-0ing Team Liquid in the finals, really putting away all doubt that they are legit a good team in North America. And at the end of the day, I think it is better that TSM will not be at Worlds, that Cloud9 has a chance to go. I think all the teams, earn their spot. Even though I don't necessarily agree with the format, still think it's kind of whack. And I think, I do think the number one overall seed should get to pick their team, just like Rogue got to pick who they played against over in EU, and Rogue got to play against Misfits, and now they're going to Worlds despite looking pretty weak headed into the World Championships, which I think could be a little bit bad for Europe, because at the end of the day, I feel like North America is sending their 3 best teams, and when I look at Europe, is Rogue better than G2 right now? Is Europe really sending their 3 best teams? I don't know. It's a little bit iffy. You think the 3 best teams for North America is EG, TL, and 100 Thieves? I mean, I don't know. EG got 3-0'd by Cloud9. I don't really think EG has much of a, much to say in terms of being the best team. They lost to 100 Thieves. They lost to Cloud9. So at the end of the day, I don't really think any North American teams can look back and blame anybody but themselves if they are not going to Worlds. So yes, TSM had a great regular season, but they didn't really perform in the spring playoffs. They didn't really perform in the summer playoffs. And then in terms of TSM being this, prestigious organization in North America, I think they're running out of excuses in that regard too, because for the last 4 seasons, they have missed Worlds, gone 0-6 at Worlds, and missed Worlds once again. And, the argument for a while was that they were trying to be profitable. They were trying to run, in the black in terms of actually making money, while all these other teams were wasting money. It was going to be unsustainable, whatever. But now they have this FTX money coming in. And if TSM wants to remain as one of the top organizations in North America and a global brand that deserves respect, that deserves that deserves money thrown at them, I really think they need to go make a big splash this offseason. I think they need to go make big changes. I think they need to go spend some money, but not just spend some money on players who are actually going to do something. Or I really think that the TSM coaching staff, the TSM management, Reggie, Parth, all these guys need to start being held responsible for what they're doing to TSM, an organization that at one point was one of the most respected in the entire world. They were a team that was making it to, the LCS championship every single year. They were going to Worlds every single year. Now, they're hardly ever making it to the finals. They're hardly ever going to Worlds. It should be embarrassing. That should be disgusting. I really think TSM is running out of time, running out of excuses. And you see teams like 100 Thieves coming up, doing awesome content, doing awesome apparel, selling, making tons of money, and winning championships now, and going to Worlds. And then you see teams like TSM, other than TSM Legends, their content isn't that crazy. Their merch, I think, is okay, but it's not as cool or prestigious or anything. And then in terms of their esports, they're not popping off in Valorant. They're not popping off in League of Legends. Like what are they doing? I really think they need to start, instead of talking the talk, start walking the walk. And they need to be back at Worlds. They need to be, holding their own as one of the most prestigious teams, not just resting on the laurels of, past TSM teams who won all those championships, made it to all those finals. I think they have some good pieces in place. I think Bjerg is a good coach. I think he'll be, a good leader for the future. Obviously, Speak as an MVP. But this roster has a lot of flaws. It has a lot of holes. They weren't built well this offseason. We'll have to see how things go going ahead in the future. And yes, you can make the excuse that, Bjergsen retired, Doublelift retired. But what are your excuses for the last 4 years? It seems like there's always something. So, we'll have to see what happens there. But that's kind of my thoughts on the LCS right now. I am surprised that Team Liquid looked so bad in the finals. I'm surprised that 100 Thieves looked so good. I hope TL will be able to rebound by the time Worlds comes around. I hope they're not tilted. Santorin, how is their health going to be? How is his health going to be? I don't know. Is Alfari going to be able to carry and be dominant on the world stage? How's Tactical going to... All right, we're back. Sorry about that. So, if I am FBI, or if I'm 100 Thieves, I hope Closer can stay in this form. I hope Abadage stays in this form. I hope FBI stays in this form. And I hope that they don't just, I hope they aren't just satisfied with making it to Worlds. I hope they actually want to go to Worlds and do something, that they actually want to go to Worlds and do damage. Did you watch the Crackdown? Dom and Thorne said TSM actually could have gotten Jensen Alfari in the offseason. I haven't actually seen that yet. Maybe I'll take a look at that. I don't know. I don't think that's actually that realistic, because it would have taken a lot of money. I don't know. I don't think TSM had the money for that. That doesn't sound that realistic to me, and I know Dom and Thorin just kind of, talk out of their ass sometimes. But, we'll get to G2 in a second. G2 is the last topic we're going to cover in the podcast. Next up, I'm going to take a drink real quick. If you guys have any, thoughts, comments on the LCS, TL, 100 Thieves, Cloud9, TSM. Is C9 doubling down on Perks? I mean, I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't know exactly what you mean by doubling down, but, I think Perks is definitely going to be back next year. I think they're definitely going to spend more money and build around him. Maybe it's Yankos. We'll see exactly what. But yeah, just in terms of the LCS teams, I don't really know what to think. I think 100 Thieves has been really inconsistent this whole year. TL is tough. They've been up and down as well. Cloud9's been up and down. I really don't know. Seems like Blabber isn't playing for him. Yeah, I could definitely see Cloud9 moving on from Blabber this offseason, definitely. Who would you replace Lost with? Honestly, if I could, I'm looking at Tactical to replace Lost. That's who I think would be my number one. Other than that, I think Crown Chow would be interesting. And then I think a lot of Chinese AD carries, Viper, Huanfeng, a lot of these guys could be interesting as well. CLG, CLG's a mess, dude. I think they're in one of the worst spots of like any team. TSM Alfari. I don't think Alfari's leaving Team Liquid. I think that the relationship between Team Liquid and Alfari has recovered. I think it's mended. I think they're in a much better spot. I think his problems were with Jet, and I think they're kind of good to go now. And he has a 3-year deal, so Team Liquid has to want to get rid of him, which I don't really see happening at this point. C9 Yankos, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. C9 gets FBI. I don't know why 100 Thieves would move on from FBI at this point. It really seems like he's one of the main players that they're building around for the future, especially as a resident North American player that I think really is capable of playing at MVP level. I don't see him going anywhere. All right. Do you think TSM Doggo would just win LCS? I don't know if he'd win LCS, but he'd definitely make TSM better. He'd definitely give them better chances at Worlds and stuff. What do you think CLG need to do to be better next year? So if I'm CLG, I'm not worried about being better next year. If I'm CLG, I'm worried about building for the future. That's my problem with CLG, is that they suck right now with a veteran-laden team. They have no young players that are building towards the future. If you're CLG, you're not going to snap your fingers and just be good next season. You need to find 1 or 2 main pieces that are going to make you great in a year or two, rather than keep getting veterans to just patch your holes and then still finishing last in the LCS. So that is a challenge for CLG. Find a good young player to actually build around. Have a Blabber, have a Tactical, have a Spica, something like that. And that's what CLG just doesn't have right now. TSM Sneaky, I don't think that's going to happen. If 100 Thieves doesn't 0-6 at Worlds, I think they stick with maybe a new top. Right. But it's going to depend on how 100 Thieves does at Worlds. How close is Someday to back in peak form? I think he's far from it. I would say like maybe a 6, maybe a 7. TSM Reckless, I don't think he's leaving. TSM Sneaky, I don't think is going to happen. I think TSM would rather go make a big splash. North American rookies, yes. I think they need resident talent. Hopefully the NBA teams give funding back. Yes, that would be very, very big for a lot of LCS teams. It seems like we're kind of coming out of COVID a little bit. NBA has crowds and stuff, but then again, Delta, I mean, who knows exactly what's going on. All right, let's pop into the LEC now a little bit. So obviously LEC playoffs were crazy. Some wild series, some wild bangers, some wild upsets. But the big thing here is a lot of people are talking about just CLG cannot pull young players from their academy. Their academy team sucks too. That's the problem. The big thing here talking about in the LEC is Mad Lions and just how good they are. They steamrolled through the LEC playoffs despite not being dominant in the regular season. They were good, not great in the regular season. They beat G2 3-1 in the first round. They 3-0'd Rogue, and then they 3-1 Fnatic with some really, really dominant wins. And my kind of question here is, how good is Mad Lions? How good? Hopefully we're not DC'd again. I don't know. Hopefully it's okay. I know we're dropping a lot of frames. My internet has been so bad this week. But Mad Lions forgot to pay. I know Carlos needs to get on that. I don't know what to do. The internet has been so shitty. It's been like this all week too. I haven't been able to play like games or anything. I was hoping it wouldn't be bad for this, but we'll figure out what's up. All right, let me see if we can get it back, because it's saying for me that it's still up. Hold on, I gotta watch some ads and stuff real quick. We're back. All right, good. It sucks. That's it's gonna hurt the viewership too. It's so annoying because like obviously people aren't gonna stay in. I don't know what to do. It's so choppy. What the fuck? All right, we good? Are we good? All right, hopefully we're back. Hopefully we're straight. Sorry about that, boys. This is the first week. Like so I've been in Arizona for like almost 3 months now. This is the first week that we've had terrible internet like this. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, talking about the LEC, Mad Lions, just how good are they? the top LEC teams have been good. We're talking World's Finals. We're talking MSI champions. Can Mad Lions live up to that? Obviously, they're coming off the backs of a crazy performance at Worlds last year where they looked really bad. They got kind of knocked out. And now we're to the point where we're talking about Mad Lions being one of the best teams in the world. And that's a big jump to make in just a single year. That is a big jump to make in terms of like their confidence and everything. Obviously, I think they should have built up a lot of confidence. They have 2 new players. They've got El Yoya. They've got obviously Armut up in the top lane. I think their players are looking really good. They beat some good teams in the LEC. There's veterans on a lot of these teams. Fnatic's whole roster, G2's whole roster, Rogue has kind of looked crazy and good the whole year. But yeah, the LEC is in a weird spot right now because they're sending a Fnatic team with a rookie top laner with Whippo jungle. So like, who knows how that's going to go on the international stage. They have Rogue, who seems to just be a shell of themselves. They are, choking in all their games. They are really rough right now. And then there's Mad Lions, who looks really good. And is Mad Lions dominating Europe because they are so good? Are they dominating Europe because it's maybe a down year for Europe overall, which I do think it is a little bit. I don't think Fnatic is that amazing. I don't think Rogue, obviously, they look terrible in the playoffs. I think G2 didn't look that whole good throughout the whole year. But I do think Mad Lions is good too. I think it's Mad Lions looking good and some of Europe not looking so good. So it's really going to be tough. I'm so interested to see how Europe as a whole does at Worlds, how Mad Lions. Korea has looked a little bit more beatable. Europe has looked good at times. NA has looked good at times. It just kind of has me curious how good exactly things are going to do. It's going to depend on the groups, a month or so, or 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever. But I think play-ins are going to be tough for Rogue. Hopefully it'll be an opportunity for them to build up some confidence. But we will just kind of have to see how that goes. I don't know, guys. It's so bad. I don't know what's going on. I'm telling you, it's been like this all week. Literally, there's like not been a single good day of the internet. But we're going to try and get through this. We'll try and, power through it. Obviously, it's going to affect it a little bit. Hopefully, it won't make it too bad. But I don't know. That's kind of all I had to say about the LEC and stuff. We can kind of talk about the offseason as well. So I'm going to scroll through some of your guys' questions. And then there's a lot of G2 stuff that I wanted to talk about. So what do we got here? What do I think about TSM giving Cody Sun another shot? I don't think they should do it. Not that I think Cody Sun is bad. I think he deserves an opportunity probably. But I think that TSM needs to be going for great players. I think they need to be going for more sure things. I think Cody Sun should maybe get a shot in the LCS, but I don't think it's on TSM. I think that's they have the potential of like what happened with Lost this year. The top teams shouldn't be the teams taking risk on players. Cody Sun should get an opportunity at Dignitas or CLG or something like that and work his way up rather than having a TSM take that chance on him. I think it's too risky. I think Cody Sun is good. I don't think he's great. So yeah. A lot of people are saying top 4 behind FPX, Damwon, EDG, and RNG for Mad Lions. We'll see. I don't know. I could see them overperforming. I could see them underperforming. Would you say that Carzzy and Kaiser are going to re-sign? I don't know. Like, my thing with Carzzy and Kaiser is, like, if they were going to re-sign, I don't know why they haven't re-signed already. Now they've won 2 LEC titles. Maybe that means they'll stay together, or maybe that means they're ready to move on to something else because, the more domestic titles you win, the less it means. So maybe if they do bad at Worlds, they'll want to leave. I don't exactly know. How do I feel about TSM Unified? I think Doggo is a much more likely candidate to come to North America. I think Unified is still under contract as to where Doggo is going to be a free agent. Rogue will not make it out of Worlds. TSM should go after Luke. We're just going to keep popping in and out. That's just how it is. What do I think TSM need to replace this offseason? Definitely AD carry. I think there's a 100% chance they replace AD carry. Honestly, I'm not in love with Huni in the top lane either. It seems like more and more people are calling for them to replace Power of Evil. So I don't know. We'll have to see how that one goes there, obviously. But yeah, some of the other things I want to talk about were some of these G2 posts. The G2 subreddit is really divided right now. Some people are saying that I didn't open up the Chrome. Some people are saying that G2 should stop changing the roster and that this team is so good together and they should just kind of ride it out and let this team keep playing together. I definitely disagree with that. I see the argument to be made considering G2 has pretty strong players in every single role right now, at least historically. But also, we've seen their results together only get worse and worse. They went from a world final to a world semi to now not even making it to MSI, not even making it to Worlds. So it's not like this team has gotten stronger the more time they've played together. They've really only gotten weaker the more time they've played together. So I do think it is kind of time for them to make some big drastic changes. Yes, it is risky. Yes, it could blow up in their face. Yes, it could not work out. But I do think that is kind of the way that they need to go. I do think that is what it's going to take for G2 to get to where they need to be. Could the meta change next year? Could all the G2 players rebound next year? Could it all work out? Yes, but history and what's kind of right in front of our own eyes has been telling us that, again, year over year, this G2 team has been getting worse and worse while playing together. So I kind of do expect them to make changes, but obviously there is some G2 fans out there that are asking them to stop changing the roster. There is some people saying that Wonder is going to deserve at least another year. But again, if I'm G2, I'm looking to make a change, and Wonder is definitely one of the guys on my list there. In terms of where Wonder ends up, I think that's honestly a really, really interesting conversation if they do decide to move on from him. I can't really see him going to Rogue or Mad Lions. I think Misfits could maybe be an interesting place for Wonder to go. Hirit is actually a free agent in this offseason, so Misfits is potentially going to have a spot up in the top lane. Could Wonder, be a piece that allows Misfits to go from the outside of Worlds to maybe making it to Worlds, maybe finishing a little higher in the playoffs? I could see it. I think it could be interesting. Obviously, I don't know if they're ready to move on from Hirit or if Hirit wants to come back to them or whatever. I also think Vitality is a very, very interesting place for Wonder because Vitality has some talented players. I think Crownshot's pretty good. I think Selfmade's pretty good. But top lane was definitely a weakness for Vitality this year, so maybe Wonder could go there and be at least a solid solo laner for them. I think another opportunity for Wonder is also Team BDS. They're going to be looking for a big, marketable player with a big fan base to actually build around to kind of get their brand off the ground in terms of LEC. So I could see BDS Wonder being a possibility as well. But he is obviously still under contract with G2, so G2 is going to be looking to sell him. They're going to be looking to cash in on a big buyout, which is obviously going to put North American teams into the mix as well. I'm not sure what exactly teams would be interested in him. I don't think it's going to be 100 Thieves. I don't think it's going to be EG because they obviously already have Impact. I don't think it's going to be Cloud9. I don't think it's going to be TL. I could see TSM Wonder as a possibility. Would Wonder be that big of an upgrade over Huni right now? I don't know. It's debatable, but maybe it's an option. I actually think Dignitas or maybe even Immortals would be a much, much more interesting opportunity for Wonder because Immortals honestly isn't that bad. They have Xerxes, they have Insanity in the mid lane. I could see Wonder being a really, really big improvement for Immortals and maybe getting them into the top 6, top 5 in the LCS. But yeah, we'll have to see there. Biggest LCS roster move prediction. I think Cloud9 kicking Blabber would be a very, very big deal. I think that TSM's new AD carry is going to be a big deal. I think whatever Team Liquid decides to do in terms of jungle or AD carry is going to be a big deal. I don't think Alfari is going to be leaving Team Liquid, so I don't really see that as much of a possibility. I don't think TSM Wonder is likely, but I'm just saying I think it's at least an option. I think it's, in the millions and millions of possibilities. I wouldn't say it's like a 0% chance or anything like that.